Whatever that next limit may be for you is going to be different than what it is for me. Me, if I'm trying to grow my business and switch it in the public's eye from more of a tax practice first to we're financial advisors first, and we do true holistic planning and really do a great job of advising and retirement planning for our clients. I, last week, just held our first client event here locally where we had about, I'm going to say 98 or maybe 100 guests in the room over a 2-night time frame. We had 2 events on Tuesday and a Wednesday night. Jumping over that stumbling block of being afraid to do something for the first time, I was very proud of. And then so going into the second night, I got those same jitters right when I was about to walk in the room and start to present. But since I had done it before, I was 10 times more confident. I was still confident the first night, but those jitters were there where it was like, all right, it's go time. Let's rock and roll. So I'm telling you guys, if you're on the fence about something, you're teeter-tottering with an idea or whatever the case may be, whatever it is in your life, insert your situation in the blank. It's time to go be it.
The Mark Biggs Show.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Mark Biggs Show. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you if you've been following along through the first 6 episodes that we've had to this point. I really hope that you've gained something from it. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've laughed. Hope you've really looked internally and figured out something or learned something or maybe something that you can apply to your everyday life to make it better for you. That's all I'm here to do, is just to provide insight to my life, my experiences, the people that I'm close with, the people that I come in contact with, to somehow, some way help you and better you. And that's why this episode is going to be a solo episode. And we're really just going to talk about, for me, one of the things that I really struggle with as a leader, as an entrepreneur, business owner, all those things that I think can cripple a lot of people, even if they, on the surface level, seem to have all the confidence, all the things figured out, so to speak. And that is just doing things that you've never done before. That's always been probably one of my greatest weaknesses, just as a person, as an athlete, as a go-getter, so to speak. All those types of things that I've never done before just intimidate me, for lack of a better term. It's not that I don't understand that these things can be done, need to be done. I have the ability to do these things, and truly, I don't lack any type of confidence in any arena, and I think the people that know me well enough would agree with that. But it's just a matter of one of those fears internally that can hold me back and has held me back at different times in my life and in my career, as an athlete and as my career as a business owner, in life after baseball. As most of you know, I own Biggs Financial Services, which is a local firm here in town that provides tax services as well as financial advising, and we're starting to manage a pretty good sized book of business. And as we continue to grow, the direction of our firm wants to be moving from only being known as good tax accountants to also being known as good financial advisors as well. We offer true holistic financial planning here. We're really proud of the way that we approach financial planning for our clients. We're independent. We're not owned by a big box company, which is a huge benefit, that we can explain in different episodes and go a little bit deeper in that. But long story short, one of the key ways that financial advisors in any area, any part of the country, whatever it is, even some of the big box firms do it, but a lot of independent advisors are the ones that are doing these types of things. One of the key ways that they get new leads, new business, is doing dinner workshops. And what that entails is sending out a mailer to X amount of people, hoping that X amount of people will sign up for your event. You usually, show up and host that at a restaurant. You serve them a meal, you give them a presentation, and then you hope that, throughout that hour or 45 minutes or however long your presentation is, that they are intrigued enough to set an appointment with you and then see if you are a good fit for them as a financial advisor. Well, the way that I've always ran my business has been more focused on the tax practice and focusing on tax preparation and planning and all those types of things, which have led into warm leads that then could potentially become financial advising clients, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We're going to continue to do that, build relationships with our tax clients, and eventually, if those services are needed by those clients, we hope that we are the ones that they think of when that time comes. But either way, we're trying to grow our practice and continue to be seen more as a financial advisory firm than the tax side of things. And so I, last week, just held our first client event here locally where we had about, I'm going to say 98 or maybe 100 guests in the room over a 2-night time frame. We had 2 events on Tuesday and a Wednesday night. And all the time leading up to that, the reason for all this backstory, all the time leading up to that It's never been something I've ever done. It's never been a part of the way that I learned to do the business from the previous firm that I worked at. I've never done it since I've opened Biggs Financial. However, having switched to our new investment partner, Kinetic, shout out to Kinetic and Ali and Sal and Omar, all those guys, we love you. But since we have partnered with them back earlier this year, it's really been on my mind like, hey, you are not any different or any more special, so to speak, than other advisors that they work with across the country. And if it's working for other people, you can't be so stubborn and hard-headed just because you've never done it to not do it and at least try it and see what happens. And so that was a long process for me. It's been something that even our previous investment partners had offered, just something I never took them up on. It's to be frank with you, it was just one of those things I was intimidated by. Once again, just the fear of the unknown. I've never done it, so I was trying to avoid it essentially at all costs. And so basically, we bit the bullet. They've got a great process of how we get the leads out to the appropriate people. It's a very, very red carpet concierge type service. When people register for the event, the night of the event, we roll out the red carpet for them. And that's even one of the things that I said in the presentation that night. And the presentation itself, I think, is you go to a lot of these events, and some of it is just rah-rah trying to sell you a cool widget that this company can offer or whatever the case may be. The content in the presentation applies to all people. It's very holistic in its approach. I feel very confidently in the material. And looking back, that could be one of the reasons why I had never done one of these presentations and went out on a limb to do that. Could have been I just didn't 100% believe in the presentations that had been offered to me before. But this one was the 5 cornerstones of financial planning. And the way that they had presented it, it's very easily digestible for people to listen and understand. Stays conceptual, so it's not super, super in-depth, so you're not trying to talk above people's heads. That's one of the things that I hate about our industry that we're in. So many accountants or financial advisors, in order to feel needed by their clients, use a lot of legalese and talk above their heads and just want to feel like they're the smartest guy in the room. Whereas at Biggs Financial and me specifically, I'd much rather my client and I be on the same page. I'm gonna explain it in terms that I know that they can digest and understand. Not that they're not intelligent enough to understand it, but I'm not going to use these big fancy words and pull words out of an encyclopedia that they've never heard of just so they think I'm the smartest guy in the room. We sit down, we look at real practical solutions for them specifically, and not just some product that I can make a commission on. So let me just force it down their throat, which is what a lot of advisors do in all parts of the country. But that's a conversation for another day. But anyways. So going back to the whole not being able to stomach doing something new, it has been on my mind for a long time to do one of these events because, once again, if other people are doing it and having success, who am I to say that it doesn't work or can't work for me? And I think as people in general, as business leaders, as entrepreneurs, as parents, whatever the case may be, that fear is what holds us back a lot of the time, and it also can continue to keep us in the same spot and from pushing through that next limit. Whatever that next limit may be for you is going to be different than what it is for me. Me, if I'm trying to grow my business and switch it in the public's eye from more of a tax practice first to we're financial advisors first, and we do true holistic planning and really do a great job of advising and retirement planning for our clients, who am I to say that this thing isn't going to work just because I'm deep down afraid to do it, for lack of a better term. And I was so excited leading up to it. Our team at Kinetic did such a phenomenal job of getting us prepared, walking through the presentation with me over meetings before so that they knew I was prepared. I had digested the content enough to be confident enough to present it in front of a room of, upwards of 50 people each night. My team here locally, the 3 of them, my wife as well, put themselves out there both nights to help me and do whatever they could to take things off of my plate so that I was ready to go out there and be my best person and present to the room each night. They did a phenomenal job of helping me and getting me to that point. So I'm very, very grateful and thankful for that. But right before I walked in the room the first night, it was literally that guttural feeling of, I'm nervous, and at the same time, I'm so excited that there's so many people in there. I'm so blessed and fortunate that they decided to take the time out of their night to show up to listen to me talk. So now it's go time. You know this stuff. You believe in what you're doing. You're confident in what you do. You're confident in your business. So go do it. And it just took me right back to being in the 7th inning of a ball game and, a professional baseball game, getting called down there and said, hey, you got the next hitter. So get hot. You got 10 seconds to jump up off that bench, get your arms loose, get your body warm, whatever you got to do. Start getting hot and getting ready to go in the game. And when you go in the game, the manager hands you that ball. It's a 2-run ball game, 1-run ball game, 7th inning, guys on base, good hitter at the plate, and then it's all on you. So at that point, that nervousness and those jitters, they got to go out the window because now it's time to execute. And so I was literally walking up and down the hallway right outside the room before that presentation started, just telling myself, you've been here before, you know your stuff, you're confident, you believe in what it is that you're trying to present to these folks. So now it's just time to go do it. For lack of a better term, you got to just suck it up and go perform. And so that was such a pivotal moment in my mind because it's like, I believe in myself to do anything and everything, but the fear of not doing something just because I haven't done it before has held me back in multiple different moments. And I was super proud of myself internally for taking the time, the effort, because to be honest with you, on another term, these events cost a lot of money because you're providing a meal for all these clients, or potential clients, these guests, and you're putting yourself out there. So you're putting yourself out there in multiple ways. Financially, you're putting your wallet out there yourself with no guarantee of any type of return. You hope that you can gain some leads from it and get some business from it and build relationships from it. There's no guarantee for that. And then you're putting yourself out there in order to present in front of these people. As many people know, as you can tell from listening to this podcast, I'm not a public speaker. So I'm not the best presenter, I'm sure, especially with it being my first time. But at the same time, jumping over that stumbling block of being afraid to do something for the first time, I was very proud of. And then so going into the second night, I got those same jitters right when I was about to walk in the room and start to present. But since I had done it before, I was 10 times more confident. I was still confident the first night, but those jitters were there where it was like, all right, it's go time. Let's rock and roll. And the second night, the jitters were there, but it was a lot easier to curb those. And in my presentation, I think I was a lot more comfortable and probably delivered a lot better presentation the second night than I did the first night. And so the whole point of that story, just number one, it's fresh in my brain. I think it's a great lesson for all of us to take, is that you got to put yourselves out there. You can't be afraid to take that first step. And sometimes you're going to fall on your face. Once again, there's no guarantee that any return for my business comes from this event. Personally, I think it was a success. We set quite a few appointments and we're starting to work through those now. So I'm really excited about that. But once again, there's no guarantee that those things, turn into any type of business. And that's okay if it doesn't. And I've got to be okay with that. And so if you're, on the fence or teeter-tottering back and forth about, should I take this first step into ABC, you can insert whatever it is for you in the blank. This is your encouragement. This is your sign. Go after it. The first time that you do it, obviously it's not going to be the best time. But the first time that you did anything was not the best time. But after you do it that first time, there's just some type of internal feeling that you're more confident the next time that you do it. It's like riding a bike. It's like shooting a basketball, throwing a baseball, whatever it is for you. It's literally just that first initial thing. You just got to get over that hump. Do it the first time. And then once you do it the first time, you'll be better the second time, number two. But the feeling that you get of that's holding you in that place will go away. You'll still get the jitters because of whatever it is. If it's a big thing for you, you're going to get those jitters. And I think that's great. Personally, I like to think that I perform better with those jitters under that pressure. That's why I think I was a better relief pitcher in baseball than I was a starter. Coming in that tight, 2-run ball game in the 6th or the 7th or the 8th inning to try to bridge the gap to get the ball to the closer, that's where I think I did the best because I had to focus the most because the pressure was on. Those tight situations, even though the jitters were there, once the lights came on, the ball was in my hand, those things went away, and I had the utmost confidence in myself because I knew that I'd prepared. I knew that I'd busted my hind end, worked hard, did all my routines and all those things to be in that specific moment. So once the time came to perform, I could tell myself, it's go time, let's perform. And obviously, with any sport or anything in life, you're not going to be successful 100% of the time. So that wasn't always met with success. But it's that feeling of not being afraid to get back up on the horse, even if you do get your teeth kicked in. And the same thing happened with this event last week. That first night had those feelings, but I literally took myself right back to one of those moments, and I was like, hey, it's go time. Let's do it. You're confident. You've prepared. Now go be it. You talk all these things. You're confident in yourself. Now it's time to go be it. So I'm telling you guys, if you're on the fence about something, you're teeter-tottering with an idea or whatever the case may be, whatever it is in your life, insert your situation in the blank. It's time to go be it. So go be it. That first time will be the worst time that you do whatever it is. But once that time is over, you will look back and be so much more confident jumping into that whatever it is the next time. So take this as your sign. Take this as your encouragement. Go do it and go be it. Have the confidence in yourself. Trust yourself. Prepare. Do your research. Do your studying. Whatever the case may be. Prepare yourself for that moment and then go do it. And then go be better the second time. And so I really want to encourage you with that, because that's something that I struggle with as a business leader, as a person, as a leader, is I struggle doing those things for the first time. But even though I have the utmost confidence in myself, it holds me back at times. But once I do it that first time, the second time and ongoing is just, it's so much easier. So I want to encourage you with that. I hope that message hits home with you, because I think a lot of people will struggle with that more so than they would let on. I know I have over the course of my life and my career, even all the way growing up through childhood. If I wasn't, if I hadn't done something before, I'd just rather not do it because I was afraid I wasn't going to be good at it. So I think that's more common than people really talk about. So really hope that hits home with you, and hope you take something from that. And once again, if it's your time to go do something, go be it. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming from the Mark Biggs Show down the road over the next couple of weeks. Really excited to share these things with you as time goes on. We may have a couple episodes coming here shortly that are not filmed in this exact room. So we're going to be doing some traveling and potentially shooting some episodes not in Kentucky. So we'll hope you stay tuned to see what's coming. We've got some great guests coming. People I'm excited to get on camera in front of you guys and really share some of their insights, their knowledge, and their skills with you guys, and hopefully teach you something you can take with you. So thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.